Hi everyone, it's me, Megan Hunt. I'm back with another video. I'm actually featuring Birmingham Pen Company's inks in this video. This is not sponsored. I'm just a very excited customer. I've been eyeing these for months. They've been coming up on my Facebook feed and in my, pretty much any social media platform. I'm pretty sure I've seen these popping up. And oh my gosh, the colors they have on their website are so pretty. They have so many different colors and so many different like they have some that have like a metallic sheen, and I'm so excited to try more of these. My boyfriend got these for me for Christmas, and he got me kind of like a primary set. So the colors he got were Kingfisher, Pollen, and Firebox. And that way I could kind of mix them to get to make other colors, So in this portrait, I just kind of drew this up on, believe it or not, just a random scrap piece of paper I found while I was unpacking. And I was like, I can't let this go to waste. And so I sketched out a portrait of Anne Hathaway. Took me about maybe an hour and a half. And there's a few things that I'm like, I definitely could have done her proportions a little bit better and more accurate, but this is a practice, so I decided not to agonize over perfecting it more. I've definitely come such a long way in doing portraits, and really a lot of it boils down to lots of practice and also just really paying attention to the shapes. Like, instead of looking at someone's face as like an overall face, it's like, okay, where are the shapes that I'm seeing? Like, if I'm looking at the general shapes of like how her structure is, like how does her nose relate to her eyes and her mouth, and how do they all kind of line up with each other, and really paying attention to angles, kind of almost imagining her face as straight lines rather than curved lines, because it helps my brain kind of translate it. So when I sketch it out, and I really should do a video on my sketching process sometime soon. Excuse me, I'm still overcoming my cold, so my voice still is a little nasally and raspy. I apologize, but I'd like to do a tutorial at some point just to show how I sketch. I'm definitely no expert. I definitely have a lot to learn, but out of all the portraits that I've done recently, I feel like this one has been one of the best. I feel like I can recognize her right away when I look at it. A couple of weeks ago, I tried to do a portrait of Kate Winslet, and I mean, it was a really beautiful woman that I drew, but it didn't look anything like Kate Winslet. And I was like, well, clearly I didn't get her proportions quite correct. But in this one, I was pretty happy. I feel like you can tell that it's Anne Hathaway. I do think I made her neck a little bit short. One of Anne Hathaway's really pretty characteristics is that she has a very long neck, and she's kind of long and slender looking. So kind of made her neck a little bit short for her. But I mean, it is what it is. It's a practice, and that's fine. Anyway, when I first started mixing these, I used a little bit of the Firebox and a little bit of the Kingfisher, like a teeny tiny itty bit of the Kingfisher, because it's that really bright blue, just to kind of try to get a skin tone. And I think I got kind of just really lucky, because I hadn't swatched these at all, so I was just diving in, winging it. And I got really lucky with the color I came up with, because it ended up working really well for her skin tone. One thing I definitely have to do in the future is to use a bigger brush. I kind of just grabbed whatever. I think to get a good even wash, I would use a bigger brush next time. I think this one was a little bit too small, and in working in smaller spaces, it's harder to get like nice, even washes. However, it kind of worked out in this case because it made her look kind of luminous. Like the areas where I didn't put as much pigment, her skin just looks almost like it's glowing or something. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But I really love the way the paint went down, and then as it dried, it kind of changed, which watercolor kind of changes a little bit, but it's not I guess it's not as obvious. Like as I was watching this, I could watch it almost seem to change color. And it was just really, really fun to work with, and really kind of a, fun experiment to have no idea what was going to happen and to just dive in and just not worry about it and enjoy the process. So as you could see, I'm just filling in her whole base skin tone. And later on, I actually go in with colored pencils, and I really wish that I had not done that. I mean, it's still pretty. The end result is nice, but honestly, the inks by themselves were so pretty that I wished that I had just let them be. But then again, this is a practice. That's the whole point. And so now I know for next time I would like to do a painting just with the inks and not feel tempted to go in afterwards. I love to build up more value, but I think in some cases, especially like this where I already had some of the values built up with the graphite, I think it might have been better to just leave it alone. That's one of the hardest things as an artist, is to know when to stop. It's like, do I keep pushing it, or do I leave it as is and let it be beautiful the way it is? It's hard to know when something's done and when to step away. So I definitely wish I'd stepped away a little bit sooner, but it is what it is. I still had a ton of fun working on this. I struggled a little bit with trying to get the color of her hair because, I was working with a very limited set of colors. So I kind of had to go back in and adjust it a little bit, and it ended up looking a little more red, which, I mean, it wasn't bad looking at all. It's just that Anne Hathaway has that very deep, dark, rich, brown hair. And I feel like the color I came up with was just a little bit too red, but maybe she could look good as a redhead too. I feel like she could. I think she could pull it off. But yeah, I was trying to mix a little bit of a darker brown. You can see here where I kind of tried to correct it a little. Added in a little bit more of the blue to kind of bring that reddish tint down a little bit. But then I kind of ended up making it a little bit green, which was not what I intended. But again, this is very much like an experiment. So I'm trying not to be too hard on myself and just enjoy it. Because these are actually, they're meant to be writing inks. They're not meant to be necessarily painted with. Hold on just a moment. My dog is getting into something and I need to check on her. Sorry about that. My animals do not like it when I am talking. Whether it's doing videos or if I'm talking on the phone, my animals just do not like me to pay attention to anything that isn't them. I have a dog and a cat. My dog is a 15-year-old boxer named Raspberry, and she's a sweetheart. And my cat is about 3 years, well, I guess he's almost 4 years old now. I rescued him, so I don't know his exact age. He is a brown tabby. He has a white bib and white little socks and bright green eyes. And because he has bright green eyes, my kids named him Minty. So Minty and Raspberry, those are my critters. So throughout my videos, I'm sure at some point you'll hear me talking to them or telling Minty to stop stepping on things, which he sometimes loves to do, as you cat owners, I'm sure, are more than aware of. It's funny, I always swore I wouldn't be a cat person, and now I'm a cat person and a dog person, but I used to not really think I liked cats, and it turns out I do like cats. I was in denial. So anyway, back to the video after my rant about my pets. As you can see here, I'm just kind of still filling in her hair. It's definitely looking a little reddish still, which is fine. Yeah, you can see the color I mixed up. It's even more obvious on camera. It's very green. I definitely was struggling a little bit to get that color to the right tone. So when I first did her eyebrows, I was like, oh shoot, that's green. She has green eyebrows. But when I went back in with some of the Kingfisher blue, I was able to correct it and darken it to make it look like just a really dark brown or a black. But it, in the end, it worked out and it reads okay. But when I was painting it, I was like, uh-oh. I wasn't entirely sure I'd be able to fix it at this point. Thankfully, it did work out. I think what I'm going to do after this is to just do some swatches and just kind of experiment with mixing different colors and trying to get different pigments from the pigments that I have. And then eventually, for sure, I'd like to try some of the other pigments that this company makes, because, their products are so pretty, and they're, a smaller company, and I love supporting small businesses, and, rather than just like giant corporations that are like worldwide, I would rather support someone who started their own business, because it's kind of like, that could be me someday. Maybe someday someone else will support me. And, it's kind of like a reciprocal thing for us small businesses to look out for each other and support each other and cheer each other on. So I think it's really cool. I'd love to learn more about this company, like when they started. They're out of Pittsburgh. And I've never been to Pittsburgh, but I've always seen like pictures and like forget what group I was in on Facebook, but like architecture from Pittsburgh is super cool. And I don't know why I remember this, but I could swear that for some reason Pittsburgh has lots of stairs. And it's so funny for me to know something like that without ever having been there. But now I want to go because I just want to see their architecture. And it just sounds like it'd be a fun city to visit. So anyway, that's me rambling, getting off on another tangent. As I'm working on this now, I'm just kind of trying to build in, the contrast a little bit more and try to create that depth. And excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. Anyway, I'm building in the values and just trying to create a little bit more depth and a little bit more, make her look a little more alive. She really, like, later on when I get to her eyes, it's just like magic. Like, it just really brings her face to life to kind of give her eyes depth. I'm not really sure what else to talk about right this moment, because right now I was just basically focusing on the values, and it just takes me a while to build them up. I guess for a moment here, I'm going to take a little break from talking about the actual painting and just talk about some of my goals coming up. It is a new year, and I'm sure you've heard all sorts of other artists talking about their goals and everything. But I think, I don't know. I don't like to make like grand resolutions for the new year, right? Um, However, I think it's a good point to reflect. It's a good time to just, okay, I've got a clean slate, I've got a new year. And as I get older, I realize that time is so precious and I want to really make the most of it. And I want to not make excuses and to really dive in and stop being self limiting. I think a lot of the time when I don't achieve the things that I would like to achieve, it's not because I'm not capable, it's because I decided that that wasn't something that I could do, and then I just didn't actually follow through or try. And that's on me. You know, I'm never going to achieve something if I don't try. And a lot of the time, too, when I've met with challenges, I kind of personally shut down sometimes. And not in all things. Some things I really am good at persevering, but, you know, especially with my art business and just juggling so many things. You know, I have a normal day job on top of my art business. So, you know, juggling all the normal things that we do as people, you know, making dinner. I'm sorry I'm so sniffly. Like, ugh, I'm going to blow my nose. I'll be right back. Hey, sorry about that. I am still definitely overcoming this cold. I mean, it started out as a head cold and then it was an upper respiratory infection. And now I think it's like just a residual congestion. Yeah, I'm really ready to feel better because this is really annoying. But trying to be better about drinking more fluids and taking good care of myself so that I can get over this and not get sick again. But anyway, as far as my goals, you know, my personal goals are to lose a little bit of weight, but this year I'm not focusing on so much on the numbers or on, you know, the fixation on like a certain, like, what am I trying to say? Like, I'm not trying to focus on the numbers on the scale or, you know, fitting in a certain outfit or something. This time I'm just like, okay, I need to start with small, doable, like the most doable, like stupid easy goals. And then very slowly build on them so that I don't get overwhelmed. So as far as my health goes, I really want to start taking a daily walk, which I did on the 1st of January. And then here it is the 4th, and I've skipped 2 days and I've not gone on a walk. So I think maybe after this video, I will go on a walk with my dog. And then other than a small walk, I'm trying to meet my water goal and to stay in my calorie goal. Those are like the 3 main things that I'm doing for my health. So that's kind of my personal side of things, what I'm doing to take better care of myself. And the reason I mention that is because I can't focus on creativity or being inspired if I feel like crap. And clearly with having been sick for like almost 2 months now, which by the way, I do have a doctor's appointment. So for those of you who might be like, you need to see a doctor, I am. Yes. But, you know, I think a lot of it is I just need to take better care of myself. I can't be the best artist I can be if I feel like crap. So that's one of my goals. And even though it's not directly art related, I feel like it's really, really important to take good care of ourselves. And, you know, we always talk about self-care, self-care, self-care. Well, I personally believe self-care is not just like bubble baths and getting yourself a Starbucks and a manicure, whatever. Self-care is like literal, like, are you caring for your body? Are you getting enough rest? Are you getting enough exercise? Are you eating well? Are you getting good nutrients? You know, we can't function well as a human being, not in the long run, if we don't address those things. And we also need rest. You know, I believe that rest is part of self care, and I'm really bad at that. I do not like to sit still. I don't really, relaxing is kind of uncomfortable for me sometimes. And like I took a nap earlier because I had been up late at night, like coughing. And so I took a nap and I felt so guilty. I was like, oh my gosh, I should be doing all these other things. I should, I could accomplish so much. And here I am just sleeping. I was like, afterwards, how much would I really have accomplished feeling like a zombie? Probably not all that much. So, my big focus this year is to take better care of myself. And my 3 goals are like my measurable, achievable way to at least put myself in the right trajectory to get there. As far as art, I really want to open my storefront. That's the next really big, key goal that I want to do. By the way, here you can see that I've started going in with the colored pencils. And again, I don't hate the result, but I wish that I had left it just ink. Just honestly, I wish I had. But oh well, you live and you learn. Back to goals. Sorry, I'm jumping back and forth. I hope it's not jarring to listen to. I guess, other than opening my storefront, my other major goal, not necessarily having anything to do with art, but part of my personal goal, I'm writing a memoir. And so I would say it's about maybe 50% done. As far as like the very first manuscript that has not been edited at all. I'm just kind of like pouring out what I want to put into it. And then I'm going to edit later, because I feel like if I start editing now, I'm never going to get anywhere. I have to just flesh it out and get the main bulk of the paper. You can tell I just finished college. I want to get the main manuscript written out, and then go back and add things in and take things out and edit it and clean it up and make sure that it's engaging and interesting. Because I'm not really an experienced writer. I can write, and there are things that I've written that I'm very proud of, but I have never really considered myself a writer. So this is a new creative path for me. And I guess I haven't really talked about it before on this, but my memoir is basically, this is kind of getting like way off topic, but it's about my, journey with divorce and a major, horrible custody dispute, and, dealing with the court system, and just, it's a wild ride. It's crazy. And the sad part is, it's not really all that abnormal. I have some things about my specific story that are unique, but so many people go through this, and it's devastating. So that's kind of my other major creative endeavor, outside of art. So juggling these 3 major things is going to be a little challenging for sure. But I also think that I am hopeful that this is going to be a great year and an opportunity for me to really accomplish some major milestones in my life, things that I've always been thinking about. I'm really excited about it. Anyway, let me know what you think of this process, and let me know if you've ever tried these inks before, either for writing or for art. I would love to hear what you think of them. Please take care of yourself. If there's anything you can take from this video, definitely self-care. Take care of yourself. Set achievable goals. And I hope you have a wonderful, prosperous, amazing year. And I will talk to you all very soon. Thanks. Bye. P.S. Real quick plug. If you could, please, if you liked this video, give me a like and subscribe. I know it's probably annoying to hear that in every single creator's videos, but it really, really helps. It helps me reach more people, and it helps me, kind of spread awareness of my channel. So if you enjoyed my content, I would really love it if you would give me a like, and also comment if you have any thoughts or input or suggestions. I would love to hear them. Thanks. Bye.